Yeah, we're just talking about HVAC systems. That's not necessarily a thing that's widespread across Europe.
Yeah,
right?
only 30% of homes in France have air conditioning.
Wow.
So imagine 100 to 105
Majority don't have
degrees.
it.
Yeah, so yeah, it's brutal over there. Let's go back to the earthquake. So we were talking about this during our live weather impact show tonight at 6:30. This actually happened during our show. Initially, we thought it was just a single quake, but as you mentioned, Colin, this was they call a doublet. It's two back-to-back quakes within 39 seconds of each other. This is usually a sign of a huge rupture along this fault line, and it wasn't just a point, it was stretched out here. So usually the first quake triggers the second one, which causes a bigger fracture. This is one of the bigger quakes that's ever seen in Venezuela, and this is an area where there's a lot of liquefaction, you get landslides, and the structures here aren't really sound for earthquakes. So a lot of destruction there. Unfortunately, we're just beginning to hear the worst of it coming out of Venezuela. So think about those folks tonight and tomorrow as we start to get more information. For us, we're going to see a mild day tomorrow. One more mild day of the weekend. That's when the heat starts to crank up. But next week, big heat wave if we're going to get in on one of our own heat domes here in the eastern U.S. Tomorrow, very tolerable though. Upper 80s to near 90s, still relatively dry heat. Humidity doesn't really start to go up until Friday. That's when we see that southwest wind start to crank up. That's going to bring in the humidity. But the good news, at least it brings us a chance for pop-up showers and storms. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's going to be hot and humid, but there will be isolated to scattered thunderstorms. I wouldn't say widespread because when you see our futurecast, we're completely dry tomorrow. You'll see how isolated these could be in the afternoon hours. But if you get under one of these, there's going to be a heavy downpour or two. They'll be moving from southwest to northeast as we go through Friday night. They dissipate. Saturday, the atmosphere heats back up. We'll do it all again in the afternoon. So just something to keep an eye on if you have any outdoor activities over the upcoming weekend. Those scattered showers and storms, they'll be around through the weekend, and even next week as the heat builds, we'll still have a 20-30% chance of a stray shower or storm. That heat dome, there's one over Europe. There's going to be a big one building over the U.S. right here. It's going to center over our areas to the west, but it's starting to extend east by the middle of the week. So the worst heat for us will probably be from Wednesday on. It's going to be just, I would call, seasonably hot this weekend and early next week, but it really cranks up by the tail end of the weekend. So our risk impacts for heat, Saturday we're in the major category. As we go into Sunday, you'll see major category, a few spots in that extreme area. And as we go into Monday, you start seeing more red in a few spots in the extreme, but it's really the middle of the week that heat builds. There's the heat dome in Europe, so they're experiencing almost the exact same thing we are right now. You see some of the crazy temperatures they're expecting over in Paris tomorrow. So just wild heat in Europe, and now the U.S. gets in on that action as we go into next week and heading towards the 4th of July. Unfortunately, not a lot of rain beyond the weekend rain chances. Next week, the rain chances are actually well below average, so we could see the drought get worse as we go into next week. We'll find out if we've had any help in the last 7 days when the drought monitor comes out tomorrow. Remember, every Thursday, we get that updated data, and the data goes from Tuesday to Tuesday. Here's a look at your Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast. It's a slow warm-up, so it's gradual through the weekend. That's not too crazy, but once we get to 95 on Monday and beyond, that's when temperatures jump into the upper 90s. And can't believe I'm doing this for the first time in a while. We have 200-degree temperatures on there. We'll see if that ridge kind of centers over us, but get the idea. Every day next week we'll be close to triple digits, and it certainly will feel hotter than that when you factor in the humidity.